Hey, what's up? I'm here with P-Thugg and Dave One from Chromeo.
Yep.
Guys, how's it going?
Good, good.
We're hanging out on the beach. It's September. It's starting to get cold, but you know, it's nice out here still. You're in a suit, which makes me feel really underdressed. It's a nice suit, man. Yeah. You guys are playing, well, something to do with the film fest. Joanna was.
Actually, we're playing something to do with the first week of school at U of T.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
And then tonight we're DJing a film fest related party for I don't even know if it's public or not or private. I don't know. We're DJing a film fest party tonight, and then we're playing U of T orientation week today.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's talk about the new record, Business Casual. Right off the bat, Night by Night must have been a pretty fun video to make.
Yeah. He got to drive a monster truck, and I got the front like I knew how to dance.
Well, talk a little bit about, you know, the usage of female imagery in your music, because it's definitely there, right?
Yeah, I guess. You mean like the legs and stuff?
The legs, the videos,
Yeah.
just, you know, the Hot Mess, the first track, you got
A female vocal. That's you know.
it adds a sexiness to the.
It does, but you know, we fought against that for a long time. I remember when we first came out, and we had our first like big song was this track called Needy Girl,
Yeah.
and our big thing was we don't want a girl in the video because we didn't want to sort of narrow it down to one chick. We wanted the song to be relatable for everybody. And then when we started working with Surface to Air, which is a design collective based out of Paris, they suggested that the female legs in the Fancy Footwork album cover. And then that's when all the female imagery came in, because we did the Tenderoni video with a Palmer girl. Then we did the Bonafide video with the computer girl. Then we did the Fancy Footwork video with the legs again. So that's, and then Mama's Boy video had a girl in it. So I guess we opened it up to that. Yeah, it does add a sexiness. I mean, it's part of our sound. As long as it doesn't reduce everything, because we want, obviously, everyone, boys and girls, to relate to our songs. So I just want to, I feel like with this new record, we cover every perspective, you know. Yeah. We've got the sexy stuff, the vindictive stuff, the beef songs, you know, relationship beef songs. I mean, yeah.
You guys like
Dramatic
drama?
vocoder funk. Yeah.
Well, what came first for you guys? Because I know that, like, well, I was reading on Wikipedia, like a good journalist, that, you know, that you guys, Dave, I believe, are you Jewish? Mm-hmm. And you're Arabic, correct? So you guys are the only Jewish-Arabic united front, I guess? Combo, yeah. Congratulations. Combo. There's hope for peace.
Yeah.
But, like, you guys are childhood friends. I mean, you guys hung out in Montreal. What came first for you guys? Was it rock music? Was it electro music?
Well, it was different for both of us.
Funk?
We kind of met through, you know, the Funk Avenue. We met on Funk Avenue, Funk Street.
69 Funk Street.
Parliament lives there as well.
Funk Street,
right,
yeah.
Noisy neighbors, man.
Yeah. Right next to the mothership. And we kind of discovered funk together, started collecting records. And that's basically how it, you know, how we became friends, and that's how our musical partnership began.
Now, like, when you know, was that something that came from your parents, the funk? Was it something that you
Not
guys
at all.
got
My parents are the furthest thing from funk, rock, anything you can think. My parents listen to French music, Arabic music, Italian music, and that's it. They don't even know who Paul Simon is.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Dave's parents are really good with that.
What do they think of your career?
They love it.
Nice.
My mom's a big fan.
Nice. Let's talk about Fancy Footwork for a minute there. And I mean, you mentioned Needy Girl. Needy Girl, I read, you know, was sort of like your passport, your musical passport. And then Fancy Footwork came out. Obviously, you guys upped the bar. You know, did you guys know you had something special when you created that song, you know, and it actually registered with people?
Not really. I mean, we liked it, and we knew a couple of people were gonna like it, but I mean, I still don't see it as a interplanetary hit, but
well, I mean, a lot of people, you know,
yeah,
Fancy Footwork did really well for you guys, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I felt like I felt like Fancy Footwork came at a time where more people in North America were listening to a brand of electronic music that was more eclectic than the traditional kind. I mean, when we came out with our first album, just having vocals over electronic music was almost a radical gesture. I mean, you didn't have that much, you know. Daft Punk were some of the first to do it over a whole album, and, you know, purists would scoff at that. So, you know, by the time Fancy Footwork came out, you had a whole new crop of electronic bands, or acts, I should say. And even though our music is a little bit different, I feel like we fit into that trend. And with that new crop of bands, of groups and bands, you had a new audience. And so we were really able to connect with a new, younger, really fresh audience in North America and in Europe. And I think that sort of gave us the boost. And then MTV got on board. It was just, I guess it was a combination of factors that really helped us. I hope that the music had something to do with it too, because like you said, I think there was a qualitative shift between the two first albums. So.
Has there been a moment for you guys, like, you know, where you realized you were like, okay, this is a little bit more than just us two in Montreal, like this is now something else?
All the Fancy Footwork stuff. I think, like, I remember there was one time where, I mean, with Fancy Footwork that happened. The first time we got on tour for Fancy Footwork in 2007, and we were starting to sell out shows. And before we had done that record, we were playing for, and the biggest show we had done was like in front of 200 people as ourselves, like headlining, you know. And we came back and it was like selling out shows, and then Coachella, Conan. I remember when we did this
Conan
thing.
like, man.
He's cool, man. Yeah, it was great. I mean, we were happy to have done it before it stopped, you know. But I remember we were doing this thing for MTV, and they had us performing on top of a bus going through Times Square, and I was like, wow, I gotta be at school tomorrow. Like, this is a bit intense, you know. So that was but I mean, the surprises keep coming. You know, we're doing Letterman in 2 weeks. We never thought we would get to that point. You know, we were just, our dream was just to play the Bowery Ballroom in New York, to have our own night at the Bowery Ballroom in New York. You know, that was always our main objective. So I mean, anything after that is a pleasant surprise, and I guess we're just here to show our gratitude to the fans and hopefully give something back with more music, more videos, remixes.
Do you get used to it, man? Do you get used to the going to play Letterman? You know, do you get used to that kind of stuff?
I mean, you know, it doesn't happen often.
It's your
like
life now,
once
though, right?
once every year or two, but you know, it's still a special moment. I mean, I'm still gonna get nervous before Letterman or Conan or.
Well, you guys did it like a full-on symphony on Conan, right? Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
With the string section,
One question I wanted to ask you guys was, you guys have used your music in a lot of different ads, and I wonder if that was a hard decision for you guys to make, or if it was just an easy one.
It's not hard. I mean, it's just the process of, you know, choosing the right people and not going too far with it.
Yeah, I feel like the first thing we've ever done was a McDonald's commercial when the first album came out. And looking back, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously now if we had the same offer, we'd say no.
That's what I wondered. That was the specific.
But at the same time, I think it was cool at the time for McDonald's to get a completely unknown band and actually have a chyron in the ad that said who we were. You know, that sort of helped. Yeah, I think that in the meantime, I mean, we've been selective, but if our music lends itself to it, then great. And we're not on commercial radio, we're not on TV much, so what other avenues does a band like us have to infiltrate mainstream culture? I mean, ads is one of them. So as long as it's done tastefully, and as long as it's not, I want to say, like, disrespectful towards our fans, it doesn't trivialize what we do, I mean, we'll do it. We're pretty hands-on in terms of, like, approving stuff, getting creative control. So
cool. What are you guys listening to these days?
The Roots album,
Nice.
the new Roots album, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's on repeat, and a lot of old stuff too.
You got a bit of a Questlove
Yeah.
going here,
My man Ill Bill and DJ Muggs put out a record together.
Nice.
That's good. Scissor Sisters' new album is good. See, obviously we're really into the old stuff, but joints on the Rick Ross record I like, stuff like that.
Habs fans?
I mean, we don't follow sports that much, but yeah, obviously Habs over you guys.
This interview's over.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I mean, like, yeah, like Montreal. It's a great city. Really is.
They came close this year, didn't they? Or last year? Yeah, they came really close.
Halak, man.
Huh?
Halak.
Yeah. Is that who's that? That's the second.
Yeah.
The second goalie, wasn't
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he became like the star of the whole
Then
thing.
you guys traded him, which didn't make any sense. But
Well, don't. It's not us. I mean, we didn't really.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they
you
did
guys
that.
managed the
Yeah.
Canadians.
By default, I'm a Raptors fan because we don't have a team. So
Yeah. Wow, Bosch. What about that? He's gone. He's gone.
Wow. Are you Don Cherry's son?
No, I'm too. No, I think he would beat me, Don Cherry. Actually. I guess last question. Anything you guys can recommend? 5 essential records that people need to buy. You know, the stuff that got you guys into music to begin with.
Essential records. All right. I mean, I don't want to put stuff that got us into music because,
Changes all the time.
well, also because some of those records are obvious. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't own Thriller by now, you know.
Right.
I don't know what. I mean.
But I mean, what were those ones? You know, when you guys were kids, the ones that, like those life-changing.
Oh well,
albums.
for me, the life-changing records were Thriller. All right, the life-changing records for me personally, obviously there was Thriller. There was when I first got my first Led Zeppelin cassette, Physical Graffiti was that. My first Hendrix cassette. I want to say like a lot of the Fleetwood Mac stuff that my parents were listening to because I really it kind of got into my head,
Yeah.
and I mean later on in my life, for me I think Check Your Head by the Beastie Boys was really instrumental into getting a whole generation into hip hop music. I mean that for me was the gateway to discovering rap music, and I became like a rap fanatic after that. You know, but if it wasn't for Check Your Head, I wouldn't have gotten in Tribe, Cypress Hill, you know, Far Side, and then later Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep and Nas and all that. So
Yeah.
Beasties really opened the door, you know, for people who were from another culture. We were more into skateboarding and rock music, and they made hip-hop. They gave us like that sort of introduction to hip-hop, really, is for people of my generation. So
And I
that
mean,
was one.
That album, Check Your Head. I mean, there's punk tracks on it. There's,
Yeah.
you know,
And
hip-hop
that was,
tracks.
and then the thing is too, like, Beastie Boys were one of the first bands to be eclectic.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, it's not a surprise if somebody comes out with an album that has all these different genres on it. But
Yeah.
back then, you know, you really had to be a purist, and hip hop was very much, you know, a kind of set form, and so was punk music, so was rock music, and you know, when there was fusions like Limp Bizkit, it was corny, you know. But the Beasties managed to do it so effortlessly and elegantly, and they had respect from everyone across the board. So, you know, to me, I think for people, and if you were like a teenager in the '90s, they were life changing.
They got funky too, man.
Oh yeah.
Actually, there's a Beastie Boys connection, kind of. You guys did something with Yo Gabba Gabba song.
No, we opened for the Beastie Boys actually.
you
Yeah,
really? I
we
was
did
gonna
some shows with them. Yeah.
You cross paths.
Yeah.
So that must have been a moment.
It was amazing for us.
because it was kind of more personal than you know a business decision on both parts.
Yeah.
Like I remember Ad Rock. He said, "I really wanted you guys to do this. I heard your record in the store. I ran to the cash and I asked what record was playing, and they were side the stage when we were playing and singing all the lyrics. So that's what was special about it, you know, because a lot of people open for, you know, different bands, but that was really special.
You look over to your right, and Ad
Exactly,
Rock
yeah.
is.
That's how it happened. I was like, whoa.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dudes, thanks for your time, eh? Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Thanks, man.